So hello and welcome to today's webcast. My name is Clara Pina and I'm the Marketing Communication Specialist at Alpha People North America. I'll be your moderator today. For those of you that are new to our webinars, we would like to share a few guidelines for your use. Audio is enabled only for the presenters. Upon joining the webcast, will be placed on mute. If the webinar's audio isn't working for some reason, please attempt to log out and log back into the meeting. We would love for you to get the most of your time with us today. So if you have questions or comments during the webcast, please enter them in our chat box. We'll leave time for Q&A at the end of the session. We would like to let you know this presentation will be recorded. By joining this webinar, you automatically consent to such recordings based on the terms and conditions that are explained on the slide. We'll be sending out the on-demand recording to all participants within a few days. I will now hand over to Flávio Silva, Country Manager at Alpha People Canada, to start the presentation.
Thank you, Clara, and thank you all. Good morning. As Clara said, my name is Flávio Silva, and on behalf of Alpha People North America, I'd like to welcome you all. So it's a great pleasure for us having you here and have this opportunity to share with you details about this fantastic case study we had the chance to participate in the past. So for our presentation today, we organized our schedule like we are presenting here. So at the very beginning, we are going to have a quick introduction, Alpha People and Microsoft. So we have Veronica from Microsoft to talk a little bit about how Dynamics 365 is important for Microsoft. After that, we start our case study. So first, understanding the challenges. So the company that we are talking about here is Voxline. So we are going to bring more details about the challenges, how they evolved for using Dynamics 365 for solving the specific challenge and the results they had. So after that, Eber will join us to talk a little bit about customer service perspectives and Dynamics 365 platform, because those two components, they were, let's say, the foundation for Voxline to decide about D365 and to fix those challenges and get better results. So once Eber concludes his presentation, I'm back to analyze the case study and to understand what components that Eber presented during his presentation was used for this specific project and the results we got. One of the components for sure was a start and go, and we are going to use the end of the presentation to talk about this approach we have, which is our methodology for implementing Dynamics 365 in 5 weeks. And at the very end, Q&A for us to discuss with you more details and questions you have. So very quickly here, presenting our company. So we are Alpha People. We have a presence in 14 countries, including Canada and US. I think one important information about us is we are 100% focused on Microsoft. We understand that being focused is an important part for a partner in Microsoft to make sure we are delivering the best options for the customer. And although we are very focused on Dynamics 365 and business applications, we are also gold certified in many other competencies from Microsoft, because we understand that Microsoft, as we are going to present later, has this very interesting puzzle with a lot of components that are not necessarily part of Dynamics 365, but they can compose a fantastic solution. We are going to talk about this later. As we have more than 600 people around the world, our company today is delivering more than 70,000 hours of consulting services related to Dynamics 365. And last but not least, Microsoft has at least hundreds or even thousands of partners around the globe. But Microsoft has this inner circle group created for bringing together the most important partners around the globe, probably 50 or 60. And Alpha People is part of this group for more than 11 years now. So this is Alpha People. I know that this slide is kind of scary because we have a lot of information here, but don't worry, we're not going to go deeper in all of these bullets here. But I think the main message is we are one-stop shop for the ones that are looking for a Dynamics 365 partner. The reason we say that is because if you didn't start your project yet, you didn't write any line of the requirements yet, we can help you with gap analysis. If you already have your requirements, we can help you with implementation. If you are already implementing, we can help with development. If you already concluded your implementation, we can help you with managed services for supporting what you have. So if you need training, if you need license, if you need products, and you need a specific industries, verticals, we are one-stop shop, 100% focused on Dynamics 365. So with this brief introduction, I would like to bring Veronica from Microsoft to talk a little bit about how important Dynamics is for Microsoft strategies and talk a little bit about our partnership. So we are partners now for 17 years, Alpha People and Microsoft, and Veronica can talk a little bit about this. So Veronica, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Flavio. What a great introduction. And hello and good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here and talk a little bit about our collaboration with Alpha People and what they can do about you. But this is just one moment in those, like Flavio said, 17 years. So really, you are in good hands here. And let me tell you a little bit more about this company. Alpha People, as Flavio mentioned, are the largest Dynamics 365 system integrator in Latin America. And they're making significant investments in the United States and in Canada. On top of that, they are a direct Microsoft managed partner. And I'd like to really underscore the importance of this. So to just paint the picture, our partner ecosystem is really large because we really believe that through partners, we will touch as many customers as possible and help them transform. In Canada alone, we have more than 10,000 partners, and worldwide, that's over 100,000 partners. As you can imagine, we cannot spend time with every single partner. So we have to really carefully choose where we focus. And Alpha People is one of those partners that are not just capable and trustworthy, but truly customer oriented. Next slide, please. The other thing I wanted to talk about to you today a little bit is our dynamics and how it fits into our vision for future. When people think about Microsoft, perhaps it's Windows, Teams, Office, or Azure that comes to mind. But Dynamics is really at the center of what we do and where we are headed as a company. So I included a quote here from our CEO, Satya Nadella. And he says, that complete notion of business transformation is something that only Microsoft can do. That is why we care so much about Dynamics. It's not Dynamics on its own, it's Dynamics at the center of the company. And you can trust these words because Satya actually used to be, before he was CEO, the corporate vice president of the Dynamics group. Right? And he continues, we know that our customers and partners, the next decade, for our customers and partners, the next decade of economic growth will be defined by the digital investments they make today. And those investments that we are making are really heavy into our digital transformation and technology modernization so that you can make the right choices for your business and transform it in this digital era. And for us, then, Dynamics really is not just a connection or another product in the portfolio. It is at the center of it all. And my next slide talks to it a little bit more. So I wanted to go a little deeper with you and kind of explain how we think about things. So I mentioned we're making lots of investments into technology modernization. And we have to, because if we want to help you transform, we have to keep building and innovating too. So starting at the bottom with the Azure Cloud Platform, we have made recently big investments, and we are actually the only hyperscale cloud provider in the country with data centers in Canada. We're making heavy investments into security because we know it's important for our customers. On top of that platform, we have our data and intelligence platform. And so think about the big data, the data that we collect from everywhere, from customer interactions, from employees, from operations, production lines, right? On top of that data, you have what we call common data service. And so if you already use Dynamics 365 for sales or operations, or even Azure Active Directory and Office, your data just shows up in the common data service, and they're automatically fully integrated and related to our data model. This means you don't have to have siloed data and can build up on it. But let's say you do use different products or software, that's okay. We have lots of connectors and gateways that you can build to connect that data, right? And then what we do, you can take that rich data and use our AI platform to draw the actionable and insightful insights on top of it. Next, Power Platform. So, okay, so we have all of this data, we can reason with it, we can collect it, and now we can use things like Power BI for displaying dashboards or Power Automate to automate our processes. Power Apps, build apps very quickly, even for people who don't necessarily know how to code, or build AI chatbots or other apps that use AI without the deep knowledge of AI. Next, process and productivity. So this is at the core of every company, right? The line of business solutions that we have, whether it's dynamic sales, dynamics marketing, they're really well integrated with Office 365, which a lot of customers use. So that great interoperability is something that we see customers value and is again at the center of what we're trying to provide, a connected service. And the last thing I wanted to mention here is on top of all our solutions, we have a lot of partners, whether it is an independent software vendor who builds apps and creates software, or services partners like Alpha People. And it's through these partners that we help our customers create tailored solutions to their needs. So in summary, I really wanted to leave you with three things. One, Dynamics 365 and business transformation is really at the core of what we do as a company and where we're headed. Number two, our platform vision is business solutions connected to other things that you are using, whether it's Teams, Azure platform. It's really that vision of connected solutions across your company. And number three, we carefully choose the partners that we work with. And so you're really in good hands with Alpha People. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, I think the three bullets you mentioned at the very end, I think, I think you summarized very well. Thank you for all of your support.
No problem.
So moving on now with our case study. So let's talk about Voxline. So what happened here? So Voxline is a BPO, a contact center provider. They were founded in 2002. Today they have more than 30 customers. And one of their customers, a pharmaceutical lab, brought this challenge for them. So basically they had this small call center with 17 people and answering phone. They were supporting 4 internal departments, and they were able to handle around 2.5 thousand interactions per month. What was the main challenge here? This department was supposed to go from 32 types of process to 168 types of process. So at the very beginning, they were able to manage these 32 types of process, but now they have to go multiply by 5 or 4. And the point is, the agents, they were already overloaded. So they were using systems for managing tickets. They were training the people, but it seems that it's not just a matter of hiring more people for solving this challenge they had, because they understood that actually they had this structural challenge they should solve. And the conclusion at that point is, usually what we have today in terms of a vision of a basic contact center. So we have a customer need that use a specific channel, and you use an internal system for recording the request, and you have the agent solving everything. This is a good picture for some years ago. The point is, today, what we can see in this kind of a basic structure is no longer acceptable, because we have many other different possibilities using technology for solving our problems and uh, facilitating parts of the process. And at the same time, we can use the agent's time in a better way. So in this example here, the customer needs, we don't have to wait until the customer to call us, because we can use technology using AI or knowledge base or elements to be proactive. So opening activities up front to solve the case before the case is opened. The system is able to do that. And even if the customer needs to talk to us, instead of just giving a phone call or email, so phone calls, emails, they are actually bottlenecks. Because every time I have a phone call, someone has to answer the phone call, understand what's going on, create a record or something like that. If I like did this, or if I have an email, I have to read the email, record the thing, and understand what subject is about. So for sure, opening more channels and improving the ways we are recording this information is an important step here, and we are going to see later how Dynamics can help with that. The next step is the internal systems. Usually, the solution is I'm simply bringing an additional system for this agent. So this agent is already using a system for the financial information, for contract information, for customer information, and now I'm bringing an additional system for them. Now they have not only 3, but 4, not only 5, but 6. So I'm actually complicating a little bit more the agent's life, because now they have to manage the other systems and the additional system I'm bringing here. And the agent at the very end, the agent is the one that is translating what they are understanding from the customer, creating the record, trying to solve in the first call resolution, trying to escalate for the second level, try to get some answers for other departments. But at the very end, because we are not using the correct tools, actually we are overloading the agent. So this was the conclusion in that specific case in the Voxline. So we were overloading the agents because actually we should solve a lot of steps, a lot of elements that happened in the steps before. When you think about the solution for this kind of thing, for sure, security and availability is the foundation of any system, right? So we have to make sure we are secure. The system is going to be available 24/7, and we have to do that. But this is only a foundation. It's not the whole solution. The first question we should bring here is, who are the users? Because usually when you are trying to solve this kind of need, we have to bring tools for the internal users, in this case, agents, to collect information from the customer and record and follow the solution. But the point is, today, the users are no longer only internal users. Customers are the ones participating in this process. Vendors, partners, others, any other person can participate on this process of solving a specific request or selecting things or asking things. So when you think about this, the first element that we should think about is the channels. What channels you should provide for the team, right? Because for sure, the customer is still calling us using phone. The customer is still sending emails. So if you have this integration with Outlook, for sure, we're getting productivity. But the point is the customer is entering my portal. So I'm providing knowledge base. I'm getting their needs and their requests directly here in our portals that is coming to Dynamics 365, and you're going to check how this thing is going to evolve. The customer can use Omnichannel, and maybe I have a chatbot programmed for basic questions. If they are simply asking for the number of the order or the due date for a payment or something, we don't need an agent for that. The chatbot is able to go to my systems internally and bring this answer to them. Or if the customer is open something in the social media using WhatsApp or LinkedIn or something, right? So we should provide many different channels for the external team and for the internal team too, because the other point about this evolution is uh, we are no longer talking about people entering the systems to solve things. Because today, if this person is using Teams, I can simply, instead of waiting for them to enter in Dynamics 365 to solve something, actually, we are going to Teams and asking them there. So if you have other departments, second level teams to solve our request, I'm going to send by Teams the request, an approval screen, or a form or something, so they don't have to come in my system. They are going to still to keep using Teams, and using Teams, they are going to be able to flow to keep the flow running. And when you talk about the process engine, because here we are talking about channels, so we are capturing and talking to people using channels. But how about the engine, the whole engine that we should manage here? The first difference here is we are no longer starting with the customer case, but we are now starting from the preventive actions. Because as we said before, Microsoft is the only one that can provide a lot of things here. For sure, we are talking about excellent products, CRM Dynamics and ERP Dynamics. But sometimes we need to get information from other systems, so that Microsoft provide the integration with more than 400 other connectors here. So from Dynamics, you are accessing your other systems, so you don't have to jump from one system to another. The other point is, as Veronica mentioned, usually we have this dynamic in our daily routine. So we have to create new forms because for solving this request, I should create a specific table to capture specific information. Okay, you don't have to be a developer. You can use Power Platform for creating your forms, your tables, and connect it to this. And the same way, you don't have to be a developer to create your automation in the process. You can come here in design for this specific subject, for example, postponing payment. First, send a Teams request for the finance manager. Second, go to the assistant to collect some information. Third, so you design your step by step and the system is able to flow. Other element that is important for this process engine is, again, we are no longer slaves of the system. So we have to go to the system to do a lot of stuff. So now it's the opposite. The system is smart enough to understand what's going on and tell me what I should do. When you talk about the systems and prioritization, the system is able to analyze my case and say, okay, you should take care of this case because we had cases like this before and you had problems. Or you should prioritize this ticket because this customer is one of the most important customers for you. So the system is able to analyze the past and understand the present and the suggest and recommend actions for you. So it's as the name suggests, it's your assistant, it's your secretary. So the system is actually analyzing what's going on and bringing the priorities for you. So using artificial intelligence and machine learning process. When you talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, or this kind of things, most a lot of people can think, okay, this is a science fiction. Okay, this is the future. I don't have to think this about this right now. But the point is, it's not the future. It's happening right now. Other questions that usually people bring is like, is it expensive or too complicated for my company? It's not. It's not. It's the bread and butter for Microsoft today, right? So those are components that you click and bring to your reality here. If you have situations, for example, every morning I have to go to this website to collect some information, copy and paste inside the system, or collect some information from a spreadsheet, copy and paste inside here. So we are going to use this RPA, robotic process automation. So we don't need an agent to do that. You program a robot to do this for you. So this is a big picture about the main elements that we understand that are very important for this kind of process. And with that, I would like to invite Eber to explain about the perspectives you have and present more details about how Dynamics 365 can help us and the capabilities we have available today for help in this kind of project. So Eber, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Flavio. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Okay, so let's just have a little break here and just think how things changed. So we are talking about Voxline. We were working with them some years ago, and they have a different scenario that we have today. Today, many things changed. So we have now we are not only talking about customer experience, but we are talking about what we call total experience. This is a study from Gartner research institution, which they were analyzing the scenario that we have this year, and we now start talking about total experience. What total experience is? We are not interested. Companies are not interested to give a better experience only for customers, but also for employees, for users, for agents. So to everybody in the company to improve their time and let the customers don't wait too much for one information for a resolution. So companies are understanding that they need to think not only the customers, but also the people who take care of their customers. And because of that, we also have distributed cloud. So we have a lot of technology distributed in the cloud and letting every company who is interested to have the top-notch knowledge technology available, they can pay for it and can use it very fast without to install anything, just as a services. And also we have anywhere operations. So you can have your contact center, your call center in any place. So most of the people now are working from home. So if you want to keep your operation, so you need to considering your employees will be at home and they need to have a better experience and they need to have access to all the information they require to solve problems, to solve doubts, and help your customers in the main process in the after sales. Okay, next slide, please, Flavio. And why we are talking about customer service. So I still hear some companies asking that the customer service is not leveraging their company, or sometimes it's something, it's a cost center that they have, but a customer service is getting important right now, even in this pandemic scenario. The customer service is directly interacting with the customers. So the customer are feeling and they are rating this experience, and this experience is so important because the decisions will be based on this experience. Okay, next slide, Flavio, please. And instead that Microsoft did, Microsoft identified that more than 90% of the responders of their study said customer service is important in their choice of loyalty to a brand. So the loyalty of a customer is tightly based on the experience that they have with the service, the after sales team that they will interact with them. Next slide, please, Flavio. And the average of the customers who interacting consider the customer experience, the customer service important, is the 88% in the global scenario. Okay, for US is still 90% of the customers, the Americans, they're considering that the customer experience important to decide if they purchase or not from the specific company, specific brand. So it's very important that you give the better experience, not only for your customers, but for the people who interact with your customers. They need to be, they need to have a simple UI. They need to have access to all required information. As Flavio was saying, it's quite common that we see companies that they offer the information, but they're almost throwing out all the informations, all the systems, and the agent they need to go to one screen to another screen, and they have SLA to follow. So he has a shorter time to access the right information that gives the answer for the customers. So this is not the kind of experience that you can deliver for your agencies or your employees. Next slide, please, Flavio. So here we are talking about Mary. Mary is a customer service manager. She has some challenges. Perhaps some of you will identify that her challenges is the same you have. In these challenges are the centralize the customer data, as Flavio was saying. Most of the companies they have access, they have the information, and they give access to this information for their agents. But many times this information is in different systems. They need to log in and log out and to access this information. And this is take time. And one of the other challenges is reducing the average talking and handling time. So we need to solve an issue or answer a question, a doubt very fast, in a faster way. So she is very worried about how she can reduce this time. And of course, the cost and the benefit, because most companies today still see customer service as only a cost, not a differentiator from their business. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the scenario is quite similar that we found at Voxline some years ago. So many non-integrated system, many process, many calls and routine call routines, manual call routines, difficult to identify the SLAs and OLAs, and also it was very hard to measure the agency's time, agent's time, the customer service impact on the business. So it was harder to the customer. Voxline and other customers that we're working on the last 17 years, it was hard then to measure the performance of their activities, their daily activities. Okay, next slide, please, Flavio. So based on our experience with many customers on the last 17 years, working with Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Microsoft Power Platform and Microsoft Business Solutions, we created a methodology that we call Start and Go for customer service. Okay, this methodology has a specialized team, consultants that has experience on it, implemented and pass through the same needs and issues that some of you can face it today. It's a quick implementation. It's a 5-week implementation, okay, and has a defined costs and activities, and it has a good benefit for the cost that we work with them on these years. Okay, next slide, please, Flavio. Okay, so now I'm gonna share my screen with you, and I'm gonna let you know how we implemented this methodology to help on this digital transformation and to leverage the services not only for your customer but also for your agents. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if any of you is not seeing me.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, that's great. So this is Microsoft Dynamics 365. This is the Customer Service Hub application. There's a lot of applications specific for business area needs. And here we have a dashboard with my activities. So I'm an agency that I have here my my activity case, my resolved case. If I have some drafted emails and other kind of activities like meetings, tasks, I can have here. So in one user interface, I can have many information, and also I can work. It's not necessary to work with Outlook. I can do the same activities that to send email, schedule meetings. I can do also from the from inside Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, of course, because the tight integration that Dynamics has with the entire Microsoft stack technologies. And also I have all the required informations. I have the accounts. I can as I have as a customers, I have here the contacts. And if I have any doubts about a customer, I can click on it and I will have the informations here. Let me just, okay. And also I have the cases. If a customer is calling me, I can, we can also integrate with the um, a calling system, a CTI system. But I can also create manually cases here. I'm gonna create one case, but it's also possible if you have a specific email to receive questions, doubts, issues from your customers. We can receive this email inside Dynamics, and we can automatically convert in a case. Okay, so I can add here my information. I can add here the title of my request. Here I can add in describe the information, the request, issue. And also I have here a subject. We have a subject tree that you can add all the required information. Okay, and you can just click here and we use this on dashboards and reports. And also I can click here on my contact. As a customer, I can select a contact or account. When I click on, when I select a customer, I can have here some brief information from my customer. And also I can see the recent case he opened on my customer service team. Okay. And then I can click on save. And when I click on save, I can have SLA enabled if it is subject is related to a specific area from my company. We can create workflows and automatically send this information for a specific area inside your company. So this is automation that we strongly recommend for our customers, and also help to increase your benefit to use our solution and also our methodology. If there is any information or a similar case, I can have the AI assistant here. They can suggest me knowledge base, knowledge articles, and also identifying that this customer has similar cases he opened recently on my customer service. Okay, we also have Q is here, so you can divide your customer services by subject, by teams, and we can represent here this information on our solution. We also have the knowledge base, so your agents can access this information here, so you can quickly see all articles available. And also you can have articles based on multiple languages. So we have here Portuguese and English. And when you click on it, you can have not only text, but you can use text, images, videos, and you can also share this information with your customers if needed. You can mail them, or you can share a link with them about this article, so they can see it and you can read it, and perhaps it can solve by themselves the issue or the questions or the doubt they have. and they were raising a case for ask for help. Okay. Also, we have many other options. This is what the methodology, the starting go for customer services is focused on this customer service hub, but you can also have more AI and use of for Power AI based on the kind of license that you have or you purchase it. Okay, so this is, we have here the customer service historical analytics. It's we have here information we bring from Power BI and also use the AI algorithms to recommend key KPI insights, topics that the most rated or topics that are being rising in too many cases in your customer service. Okay, and we have here brief information from what is going on your customer service with AI help. And this is a summary, but you can see this information per agent. Okay, so you can see which agent is bringing more value to your business, reducing time and solving more cases. And we also have this same information per topic. Okay, but then you can ask me, oh, Eber, but I would like to leverage my customer services. This UI has too many information. I want to my customers to be focused. No problem. We have the Omnichannel for customer solution here. It's a simpler UI focused on interacting with digital channels. So you can enable here chat, you can enable here WhatsApp, you can also have Facebook Messenger, WeChat, Line. So you can have many other channels and your agent can interact with them through one UI. And you can see this is a simpler interface, okay? And also, it's possible to have a portal. It's a multilingual portal too. This portal has many information. You can see here, for example, articles. These articles are came from Microsoft. The articles are being displayed, but all this information is inside Dynamics. And at any time, you can click on chat icon. You can type. You can also have a multi-language chat. Okay. Let me add here a talk to agent, and you can have not only your customers access your customer service through phone calls, but you can also let them access their information through your portal, your site, your app, other third-party apps like with WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. So you can use the chatbot and also the virtual assistant to help you interacting in these other channels. And also, when you interact with your customers, when your customers is interacting with you through this channel, you have here all the sections per channel. So you'll be able to see a chatbot conversation, a WhatsApp conversation, a Facebook Messenger conversation, and your agents can receive this conversation based on their skills. You can create your skills and design your customer service team for specific channels, for specific subjects, specific topics, and they can help you to interact in a better way with your customers. Okay, so you have this simpler information. You also have if you're a supervisor, you can see all the information available here. You can also have the intraday insights. So what's going on my sales team, on my digital channels. So I can see what's going on in one interface, and I can help my team if it's required. If it's something is happening as not from something is going wrong, so I can easily see what's going on and which kind of agent is doing something that's not expected, and then I can talk direct to him or to her. Okay, so we have this information. You can also, we not only have the omni-channel, but we have also the agency sites. We have also the conversation sites. Here we have inside the conversations, we have the sentimental analysis. So if it's something was typed or um, during a conversation, since something was typed, it was not going on, something was shared, and the customer feel that is it's something that was not good for him, and start to change their mood. You can easily see here, and you can quickly interact with the agency and change the sentimental of the conversation, and bring them in a better script, and focus on solve their issue. Okay, so you can, using the Microsoft Dynamics 365 with the start and go methodology we developed, you can have your customer service using this solution faster and focused on solving your customers' questions, issues, and needs. Okay, and of course, the omnichannel is has additional cost. It's a license that has additional cost. It's the same for the portal and the chat, but it's something feasible, and you can count on us to help you deliver a better experience for your agents. And now we are going to talking about the results of what Voxline had with our implementation. Flavio?
Thank you, Eber. Thank you. I think it was great the way you presented the product, and for sure, just to give an idea for you guys that are present here in our presentation. So this is a very large product, so it's hard to compress a presentation in small minutes, but I think Eber did very well presenting the main elements here. So if you go ahead and now go back to Voxline, so the problem they had, so their agents were overloaded, so they had to bring more process types just to be solved. So after the presentation that Eber brought to us, we could see that what Voxline did actually to solve this specific problem of bringing more productivity for the team and using better the agent's time. So what happened is they brought knowledge base as Eber presented. So now no longer the customer has to call me, because part of what they need is already online, so they can go there. Multi-channel, as Eber presented. So now they have not only email and phone, but they can use apps, they can use chat. So many ways to enter this thing, and with that, our agents they are more productive to solve their solutions. Workflow, so they created a lot of workflows to automatically send the correct task to the correct people, so no longer manual routing process. SLA, so service level agreements. So once I'm routing a specific task, we have agreed the time this department or person should give me back, so we can measure the bottlenecks and solve all these elements here. For sure, systems integration, one of the most important thing to make sure from CRM, the agents can access information from other systems, so everything is much more easier to be handled. Internal apps, so we created mobile apps for the sales team, and the sales team is able now to open cases using apps instead of calling or sending emails or something like this. So we capture these needs much more structured. And Outlook integration, which is a great thing. So after doing all this thing, what Voxline had is using the same 17 agents and now having more channels, they were able now to manage or serve other departments. So now they are serving 43 departments, and the number of interactions coming from 2.5 to almost 10,000 interactions per month. So the productivity raising a lot, so almost 400%. And this is, I think, a good example. So a real example that how technology, when well implemented, can help us in this specific department of customer services. One of the components that they use it here for solving this, it was only one of the components, as Eber said, was start and go. And the start and go, basically, as Eber said, is we use Microsoft 365 capabilities, predefined scope. So in 5 weeks, we already have the scope. So we don't have to discuss the scope because we already have that. Because with that, we can have a quick implementation. Basically, this is what is covered by start and go. So you can have accounts, cases, knowledge base, SLAs, everything covered here. And the components we have in our methodology, which is related to the implementation and operational support, training, support, license. So in other words, 5 weeks later, we are able to implement Dynamics 365 in this quick way. So with that, we can have quick results because it's already defined the scope. Low risk because instead of having hundreds or 6-month project, now we have a lower risk because we can have this 5-week project, very specific and going direct to the point. Because of the duration, we have affordable cost, which is always good. And with that, we can bring higher efficiency for our team. And the way we do that basically is it's already planned, right? So if you are going to start your project in 1 month, I can tell you it's already planned, right? So we have all the tasks we need for each day of the project, right? Because it's a predefined project. So for each one of these days here, we have already the activities we have to do. So we have part of the activities related to transferring knowledge from us to you about the product and the methodology. And we are going to help us in the solution configuration during this phase here. And in 5 weeks, we have solution implemented in your company. Okay, so if you need to start and go for other flavors, they are available too. So maybe you are not in the customer service department, maybe you are marketing, sales. So we have many other flavors here using the same approach, 5-week implementation, and with a predefined scope and predefined schedule. With that, so I think we reached our objective, which is having some minutes for a Q&A. Clara, I don't know if you collect some questions from our chat.
Yeah, for now, we don't have questions in our chat box, but now we'll start our Q&A session. So if you have any questions or comments, please enter them in the chat box. I have here a frequently asked question regarding Start and Go that maybe Flavio or Eber could answer.
Okay.
So is it possible to customize the solution for specific needs of my industry?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question because when you bring this vision about having a 5-week implementation with a predefined scope, sometimes people think, oh, I need a specific field or I need a specific table or something. So this means that we don't have space for this kind of customization. The answer is yes, we are prepared for that because in our, if you go back here in this plan, we have time here to discuss this kind of implementation, and you have some time separated and already planned for this kind of customization. So for sure, although we are talking about a very direct implementation with defined scope and defined schedule, we have time here because we understand that this kind of projects related to customer service, we have to be very flexible. So the answer is yes, we have space for customizing as needed. For sure, we have some limits, but we have space for some level of customization here.
And also, Flavio, it's important to everybody let's know that we will enable you in the solution. So if you, depending on what kind of customization that you want to implement it, you can do it by yourself. And of course, we can extend in the project if it's required, if the customization is specific, has a JIP complex, then we can extend the project. But it's also important to let you know that you'll be enabling the solution, and depending on the kind of customization you want to do, you can do it by yourself.
Yeah, that's great. Good thing to remember. Yeah,
Okay,
and it
thank
seems
you.
we have 30 seconds.
Yeah, we have two questions here. Fernando Rocha is asking if the dashboards are customized by the users or need to be done by the admin.
Yeah, this is a specific part of dashboards. As Aber said, you can customize everything. So we have the power, what we call citizen developers. So you can customize everything. For sure, sometimes we can't open the screens, tables, and everything, but for sure, the part related to dashboards, you have freedom to customize everything. You can create your own dashboards. Everything is here. If you are able to create charts using Excel, you are going to be able to create your own dashboards here for sure, right? You can create many dashboards, as many as needed.
Okay, thank you. And we have a last question here from Luisa about asking if the solution supports chatbots.
Yeah, for sure. That part that Eber was presenting Omnichannel, one of the elements there is called a virtual agent. And the virtual agent, as the name suggested, is a component that you can program answers. And the program is smart enough using AI to bring the correct answers for the customer, entering in other systems to solve specific questions. For example, what's my credit limit right now? So the system is smart enough to go into other systems to bring this information, and you can use the knowledge base to provide the answers. And at the same time, the system you can create specific questions for specific specific answers depending on the questions the customer brings. But the short answer is yes.
Thank you. So I think we are done with the questions. So I would like to share with you just a few reminders before we wrap up our webcast. Please take a moment to share your feedback with us by filling out our survey. The survey link has been posted in the chat box and being also sent out by email. We will post our next webinars in our website, so stay tuned. And thank you very much for attending our webinar, and we hope you have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you all for your time. Have a great day.